Adobe Acrobat alternatives, breaking free of Adobe CC. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we're coming to the end of some fireside. So good, so good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking Linux, talking space, SpaceX, Starlink, all kinds of good stuff. Today we're going to get into some tech. We're going to get into Adobe. A lot of people are just sick and tired of Adobe and paying in perpetuity, right? Paying this perpetual fee that you never stop. You literally will pay for years and years and years. I did the math on a few other videos on how much a lot of you people are paying every year, every 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. The numbers are crazy. Some people are paying over $1,000 a year, and you do the math, you're looking at $10K for 10 years. That is not something that I think anyone should be doing. You can buy a car for that. Why would you buy Adobe? There's so many alternatives out there. So if you guys don't know, on this channel, I did a couple of series. One was Life After Adobe, Cutting the Cord. And I also did Life After Microsoft Windows, Cutting the Cord. And these series teach you how to break free from Windows and from Adobe. I think it's very important because for me, I don't want to pay in perpetuity for anything. I want to buy something and then use it. And then if I want to upgrade down the road, I can. But if I don't want to, I don't have to. I still own the software. I can continue to use it. What that does is that forces the manufacturer of the software to do good, right? To create software that is going to compel me to purchase the next version. Because if they don't, I won't. Now that everything is just given to them with this new, I call it new, it's now old, but this rental model, this lease model, this thing that you never own anything, you just keep on paying, once again, in perpetuity. This model promotes them to just simply iterate. Small little iterations. Never innovate because they don't really need to. Why? Once again, when you innovate, well, people look at it, it's like, wow, I want that. And then they will pay up for the upgrade. But since there is no upgrade, once again, it's perpetual. It just goes on and on and on in perpetuity. You just pay a rental or lease fee they really don't need. They are not compelled to do anything great. Once again, simply iterate instead of innovate. It's not good. It is absolutely not good. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on Adobe Acrobat because a lot of you guys are using Adobe because of Acrobat. You need to do annotations, you need to do forms, you need to do signing, whatever it is. But Adobe Acrobat Pro is something that you need, and it's very hard to break free. Well, I did a video on 3 alternatives that you can use, and they're free. One was called Foxit, another one was Nitro, and the last one was LibreOffice. And LibreOffice has been something that's been around forever. And I've used that also for a long time. Now, all 3 of those are really good at certain things, but not one is great at everything. Well, about a year or 2 ago, I did a video and I talked about this software. It's called UPDF, the letter U, PDF. And I was telling you how it's really great. It was amazing at the time, and I showed you guys what it looked like, and a lot of people ended up going with it because it is so much better than Adobe Acrobat. Well, now it's even better. They've incorporated AI and all kinds of other stuff. It's like version 2.0 now, and I said, you know what? Let me see if we can get some type of promo code from these people and talk about it because it is something that I've been using for the last couple of years, and now that the 2.0 is out, I want to tell you about it because it does a lot of good things. And I've told people about this before even making a video about it, and they just loved it. One of the folks was an attorney that I know. I said, listen, check this out, try this, let me know what you think. And he absolutely loved it. And now the whole office is currently using it. So seeing that he really loved it, I'm like, well, I've been using it. I love it. I might as well put it out to you guys as an alternative. Yes, once again, you can get these freebies, but you can also get this, something that I use that costs a little, but you could just simply buy it. You could now rent it if you wanted to, because of course, every company has this rental plan thing available to you, but I don't like that. I want to buy it. And they do have an option of just simply buying it. And it's about, I don't know, I think it was like a 1/6 of the price of Adobe Acrobat Pro, a 1/6. Yeah, I believe something like that, which is crazy, right? It's just a one-time purchase. And then if you want to upgrade, you upgrade. If not, you don't. So if you do need to do any type of annotation or any type of PDF work, this is definitely something that you need to check out. And what I'm going to do at the end of this video, when I did contact them, I got this promo code. It's going to give you like $10 right off the top, which is a lot considering the software's so cheap already. So by the end of this video, check it out down below somewhere. I'm going to give you this promo code. So who is this for? Who can use it? What computer? Now, you know, I do Linux, I do Mac, I do PC. As of right now, I'm not doing PC because I took my Windows out when I created the Life After Microsoft Windows Cutting the Cord series, and Windows sits here for the last 10 months. So you can use it on Windows. I'm currently using it on Mac OS, but you can also use it on iOS as well as Android. Now, some people are going to say, can you use it on Linux? I haven't used it on Linux because I always use it on my laptop because I'm doing a lot of PDF stuff in the house or when I'm at a coffee shop or something like that. So I use it on the MacBook Pro that I have here in front of me, but you can use it on Linux. You can probably throw it into bottles or wine or something because it's very lightweight, extremely lightweight. That's one of the other things that's really good that I didn't even touch on, is that it is really, really lightweight. It doesn't bog down like Adobe Acrobat used to, Adobe Acrobat Pro that I used to use way back in the day before we dumped Windows completely and Adobe. Also, if you want more content about breaking free from Adobe or breaking free from Windows using alternatives and whatnot, I'll put a link here. When you're done watching this video, check that out over there so you can see all of those series that put together playlists. There's 2 different playlists. If you don't see a button here because you're on TV or something, down below in the description or the pinned comment, you will see those links. So check those out. So before I bring you over to my screen, I just want to give you some points as far as what exactly does this do? Because if you never heard of UPDF before, I mean, it's been around for years and years and years and years, but if you never heard of it before, let me just give you all of the changes, all the niceties that have happened, let's say moving from UPDF 1 to now UPDF 2.0, which is awesome. Now, the number one thing is AI, and AI is everything today, guys, and they have it in spades. Their system is powered by GPT 4.1 and DeepSeek R1. Now, this is really, really important because both of these are amazing. GPT 4.1 handles all the conversational stuff and inquiries, whereas DeepSeek R1 is more like a mixture of experts. That model is designed for reasoning or chain of thought. Now, with this AI, you can chat with the PDF, you can do summaries, you can do translations, you can rewrite stuff or polish documents, you can generate content, and of course, you can extract or pull out data. Like say, hey, listen, this PDF is cool. I want you to create a table or a table of contents or maybe a specific detail and you want to go in a little bit deeper. That's what's really nice about this. And before I get any deeper in the woods, I want to say this is one of the major features why the attorney that I gave this to just absolutely loved it. And the reason being is in the past, they would go from Perplexity to Grok to ChatGPT to this model to that model to do a lot of their research and work, or to break things down or take large motions and then distill them down into bullet points so it's easier for the attorneys to work on. Well, they would have to go from one model to another model to another model, then cut and paste and put it into this brief, into this document, this PDF file, and so on and so forth. Whereas with this, it all happens internally. So that is so massive for them because they never have to leave the program. They're sitting in there. The other thing that's really great, and the reason why they went down this road, and I was going to tell you later, but I figure I'll tell you now, is because it has the ability to save your documents into the cloud. So when you actually have this software, you get over, I think it's like 100 gigs of space, so that if you have multiple people on this, like they do, multiple attorneys on a specific document or case, they can all go in there and make annotations or change things or edit or do whatever, translate stuff, whatever you need to do, but they can all do it together on the same document. That is very, very powerful. Once again, collaboration. Anyways, what's also important here to note is that there's an all new user interface. They go by this 3-click rule. Now, the 3-click rule basically says that if you can't get something done in 3 clicks, it's basically broken, right? If it doesn't work in 3 clicks, well, rework the UI, and that's what they did. So it's about 80% faster than it was before. They also have eye protection mode, so you can customize your theme, whatever is more relaxing on your eyes, search and replace and delete, which is really powerful. So if you want to do mass finding or swapping or replacing or whatever within the same document or multiple documents, you can do that. They have enhanced annotation management, which is really powerful. Once again, if you're working in a team, they do form fields, which is very, very important, especially if you're doing maybe contracts or something like that. It does also document sanitation, so it does redaction. You can insert images as pages or extract pages as images or vice versa. Let's say if you wanted to make a PowerPoint, it makes it super simple to do that. You can also combine multiple pages into one document. That's something that I've had to do many times in the past, and this does it automatically. You don't have to do it yourself. It will also do ID card for PDF creation, as well as it does batch processing. Batch processing is really important for a lot of people because it does batch OCR, batch compression, watermarking, footers and headers, background insertion, as well as element removal. So by doing it in batches, you can do it right across the board. Anyway, so those are some of the things that you can do with it. It does come with a license that gives you, I think it's like 4 licenses, so like 2 PCs or like 2 computers and 2 mobile devices, maybe like an Android and an iPad or something like that. So that's what I do. I have mine on my laptop, on my MacBook Pro, but I also have a copy of it on my iOS device, which is my iPad, and I can take that along with me and do annotations or change things. My use case, unlike an attorney, is more for my editors. So if I did a video and I want to annotate something, and I'll show you that in just a second, I can do so and say, look, this isn't right, change that, this is good, or so on and so forth. And I'll show you how I use it for doing so. So once again, before I jump into the software, you need to know that you can get a 7-day full access trial on it. It is 100% free. If you like it, good. If you don't like it, that's good too. You could also get the software, buy it, one-time fee, and then you can say, you know what, I don't want it anymore after 30 days. It doesn't work for me or whatever. And they do have that guarantee. And like I said, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a promo code to give you a discount if you want to check this out. Either which way, it's up to you. So let's jump right into my screen and we'll get in a little bit deeper, or let's say into the thick of things. So when you open up the software, it looks like this. You have your PDF documents right here. You can open up PDF documents that are sitting on your computer. You can upload to the cloud, so on and so forth. You got starred documents, whatever. And also over here, you have your cloud files. You know what? Let me pull up my mug. So here I am. So I'm going to stay down here just for a minute. I might turn myself on and off or whatever, but I use my hands a lot. So if you don't see me, sometimes it feels wrong for me. I feel like I'm talking to nobody and no one can see me. So anyways, this is what it looks like. And what's nice is you do have this cloud files here. And that's where we get back into the sharing thing, where you can go and grab a file instead of here local on my computer. I can grab it in the cloud. But what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this user guide because it comes with it. And guess what? They did a damn good job at it. So this is what it looks like when you click on it. There is a total of 9 pages in this PDF. Let's just go to the first one, double click on that. Obviously, if you use Adobe Acrobat, this is going to look pretty straightforward for you because it's got all of the same features. There's like nothing missing. Actually, there's even more features in this, and they've made it super simple instead of very hard and convoluted like what Adobe does. And they always do. Their UI has always been garbage. Anyways, this is what it looks like. You also have something called bookmarks. Now, this is really powerful because each page has a different title, let's say, and you can see that each one is named. So if we come down here where it says explore the PDF tool entry, your convenient operation hub. If we click on that, it brings us right over to this specific PDF page. That is great. So what makes this great is, let's say you're making a book. You can do this for different chapters or different paragraphs or different subject matter, or however you want to delineate it based on these titles to be able to get in and out of those chapters. My personal opinion, I would do chapter by chapter by chapter. It just makes it really super simple. And then later on, using its AI, you could build a table of contents. It'll do it automatically for you. You don't have to do it, which is great. Anyways, when we come down here a little bit lower underneath the book bookmark tab, we have something called comments. If we go in here, this is where we can put comments specific to this PDF. I don't use this very much. Some people do. I don't use it because I do annotations for my people, for my editors, and I'll get into that in just a second. Of course, you have form fields, very important if you want to do forms. You can now make any type of document. You can make something that is able to be filled in, a PDF that is active, that's live, and that's where the form fields come in. And then finally, you have attachments where you can add attachments to the PDF. Let's go back over here. Let's come over to this page. This looks kind of nice. Page 3. Here we go. Personalize your UPDF experience. Customize themes, switch anytime. So I really like what they did with this. Now over here, you can see your tools. If you click on that, there is 4 different things that we can do here. We could do comments, we can go to edit, forms, or redact. If you go to redact, obviously we know what redact does, right? We can get rid of stuff. We don't want to do that. Okay, we will undo that. Go back into tools. If we want to go into forms, once again, we can add forms wherever we want in here, maybe a questionnaire or something. That's not a problem. We can do it very easily. Back into tools, we have edit. This is where we can change things. So if we pick up our tool here, which is our selection tool, and grab these graphics, we can move it over to here if we want. Or maybe one of these we want to move over to the top and maybe move this one to the top. Let's undo that. Or maybe this little pointer here, this little arrow, we want to make bigger. Maybe we want it this big, we want it to overlap a little. We can do that. Or more importantly, for me, for example, we want to annotate. So you see where it says comments? We click on the comment tool, and now we have a multitude of things for annotation. The one that I use a lot is this first one. Now, the reason I use this a lot is because it is absolutely perfect for me for my editing. I go by a green light, yellow light, red light type of scheme. So if I have a red light, that means that, let's say this sentence I don't like. That means that it needs to be removed. Okay, I don't like it, it needs to be removed. If I go with, for example, a yellow light, and I highlight this sentence here with yellow, what that tells the editor is like, well, I like it, but I want you to change it. Make it a little bit better for me. And then if I go with a green highlighter here, I can say, you know what? All of this is good. Let's leave that alone. I do that a lot. Now, that's just how I use the annotation. The other thing that some folks use for annotation that works well for them, let me go ahead and undo these, is using a box, like a text call-out box. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say this right here is perfect. I love this. I can say, you know what? I love this. Exclamation points, okay? Perfect. I love this. And then I can change this up a little bit, right? If I want to, let's say, change the positioning, I can move it around, or maybe this arrow, I want to point to this one instead of that one, I can do that. I can change the size of this, maybe want to shrink it up really small, whatever you want to do. Some people like doing annotations this way. I personally like the red light, yellow light, green light thing because it works out good for me. Now, there's other things. This is the call out text. So let's go ahead and delete that. We can also just highlight it, hit delete, and it's gone. The next thing is your sticky notes. Now, some people like this method also. Let's say your sticky note is a yellow and I put it right by this title. I could write something like create a new title and then hit done. And as you can see, this little annotation stays here. See this little mark? So when someone goes and clicks on this, they can see exactly what's inside of it. And it's basically what I wrote, create a new title. So this is just making a notation. Now, there's a few others. Let's go ahead and delete these. We can once again go to our selection tool, click on it, hit delete, it's gone. Click on this one, hit delete, it's gone. And that's that. We can move over to this one, which is your pencil. Now, this one is very important. Why is it important? You'll see. There we go, right? So we can sign things with that pencil. So this is something that everyone needs when you're looking to do PDF manipulation, any type of annotation. A lot of this stuff has to do with signing of documents. Well, there you go. You can sign the document. We can select it. We can move it around. We can resize it. We could do whatever we want with it because now it's once again a digital signature and we can put it wherever we want. Or we could just simply delete it. So very, very, very powerful. You also have rectangles if we want to make rectangles with borders and fills. There's another thing that's very powerful for me. And that is this distance tool. Now, it's not going to be for you, most likely, unless you do prints. I actually print through PDF. I send it to the printers, a finalized copy in a PDF format, and then they print it for me. Now, why is this important? Because if I'm making a document and I need to know that, let's say the piece of paper that I'm going to be printing on is 8.5 by 11, I could look at, for example, this title, and I could come over here and draw this little measurement tool right around it and say, okay, well, this title is 5.5 or 5.65 inches long. I could change that from inches to millimeters or whatever I want. But now I know that this title is, let's say, 5.5 inches long. So when I look at the paper, I know exactly what I'm going to get before I get it. It's very, very important. So when I look at this document, I say, well, the page that I'm going to print this on is going to be 8 by 10. So let's go ahead and grab our ruler and just drag it across here to 10 inches. So that right there is 10 inches. If I drag this down, you can see what it's doing. It's showing me where the document is going to be, let's say, cut. Okay, so this is where it's going to cut. We know where it's going to fall off. So let's go back into here. We'll switch back over to comment because that's what we were doing before. We'll click on this ruler, we'll hit delete, and now that's gone. Now, if we want to see what this dark and this light and this mint and this starry size of this button looks like, if we go to the comments again, pull up the distance tool, and then go from here over to here, just like that, and drag that down. As we can see, it's 1.26, or let's call it 1.25 inches. That's how big they are. So we know that on the document, it will be 1.25 inches for this specific little button. Do we want it bigger? Do we want it smaller? We can make the modifications based on this size. So that's really important for me. I use this a lot. Now, if we come back up to the top, you have attached files. You guys know what that does. Another thing that's really cute is you can attach gestures or stickers. So if we click on that, maybe we'll come over here and we'll do a thumbs down. There you go. I like this annotation. I don't like this second paragraph. I'll just thumbs down it like that. Make it super simple like that. It just depends on what you want to do. And if we go into stickers, as you can see, there is just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stickers. Whatever you want, they're all here. And it just makes things super simple, number one. But number two, it makes things fun when you're actually creating, let's say, a book, and have a lot of royalty-free, because that's what these are, royalty-free graphics that you can use in your documents. You also have this stamp, which is really kind of interesting because it gives you a whole bunch of stamps and you can customize them also. So let's say if we want to do confidential, I can do confidential across this whole thing. Boom. There you go. Or we can delete that. Or maybe we want to put, let's say, reviewed, because I've already reviewed all this. Now, lastly, at the top, we have something that's called signature. Now, a lot of people love this because it's very important, because when you have a signature, you can reuse it. And it doesn't have to be your signature only. It could be your signature in something else. So if we go over here to signature local, this is what we have stored on the computer. You can have up to 6 different signatures. If we go to cloud signature, we can have up to 10 in the cloud. So that is really, really wonderful because some people need an auto pen, and this is basically your auto pen to sign things. And if you have, let's say, a team and they need to sign things for you and you authorize a certain person to sign something for you, you could have that signature already ready for them in the cloud. Really powerful, very, very powerful. So this is just a few of the tools that you can use. If you go over here in the right-hand corner, this is kind of the thing that I absolutely love with this new version. And this is this AI that it has built in. If you click on that, there is a bunch of things that you can do with it. Now, the first thing you can do is ask your PDF. You can ask your PDF whatever you want to ask it based on the information that it has. You can find out what's in it. Let's say you have this massive 100 or 1,000 page PDF, which is, I don't know, some type of bill that's currently out there that's over 1,000 pages long that no one could read. Yeah, so you also have like a chat, whereas you can chat with your AI. Then down below that, you have a translate. Maybe we want to take this first title, this opening title, copy paste it, stick it in here, and translate it. Now, we could go to Chinese or French or German or Italian, Korean, Russian, so on and so forth. Maybe we want to go to German. We click on German, we hit go, And there you go. It just converted or translated this specific sentence into German. Now we can cut and paste it and stick it in there if we want. Now that's all cool and all, but the next tab here where it says PDF translation, this is kind of crazy because here you can actually take an entire PDF and translate it into whatever you want. So let's say I want to translate it into French. If I say translate into French, what it will do is it will take the entire document, as you can see, and translate it into user guide French PDF. It will take the entire thing and convert it to French. Let me hit cancel. You could convert it once again into Italian, into Korean, into Russian, whatever. And now all of a sudden, all that work that you did is already, once again, automatically translated into the language that you need it to be in. And you didn't have to do anything. It did it all for you. If we go down one more, it has summarize, which I really love because you can take a document and say, listen, summarize this for me. I want to know just the important bullets that have to do with this document. And it will do that for you. And then finally, explain. And that gets into the explanation. It'll take something and it'll explain it to you in, like, let's say, easier terms. Once again, it's using GPT 4.1 as well as DeepSeek R1 to be able to make all of this happen. Let me just go back to the main screen. So the way I look at this is, obviously we didn't cover everything. There's just tons of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I do. There's a lot of things that I can tell you what the attorneys are doing with it. There's a lot of good stuff. Now, this is something that is very personal to you. So I would recommend that you just go and download it. It is free. I will put a URL down below that you can go and download it. And like I promised you, there's going to be a promo code. And that promo code is simply JCristina, the name of the channel, JCristina. If you use that when you go and order this software, you're going to get it for $10 off. And $10 off is a lot of money off because the software is really cheap. So you can just simply buy it. If you want to do a payment thing and pay in perpetuity for it like everyone else does, you can do that. I don't recommend it because that's something that I am against, but some people like it and they don't mind doing it. And if you are one of those people, then fine. It's a very small amount every month that you pay and that's it. But for me, I want to buy something, know that I own it, use it whenever I want. And when a new version comes out, at that time, I could decide if I want to upgrade or not. And once again, that allows you, the company, to force me to upgrade. How do you do that? By persuading me by creating something great. If you don't, I'm not going to buy the next version. That's basically how it works for me. And it probably works for the majority of people too. Anyways, guys, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the content, throw it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. If you are, thank you. Click this notification button here so when I go live, when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you want to go and take a look of any of my Life After Microsoft Windows Cutting the Cord or Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series, I will put those links down below also, along with the link to this software so you can go and check it out either for free or, once again, use that promo code JCristina to get the $10 off. It's completely up to you. Anyways, many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected. We'll see you in the next one. Love you guys.